Good morning, people in the south. How you guys doing? My people in the east, how are you doing in the east? My lovely entrepreneurs in the west, how are you guys? And my dudes in the north, how you doing? Back again. But this time around, no, I'm not back with anything. I'm just back. So, there's a story. There's a story that I want to. There's a story that I want to capitalize on this episode. It's the story of Goliath and David. David and Goliath. I don't know which one comes first, David or Goliath. I'm not sure. But there's a story of David and Goliath where Goliath was apparently a giant. It sounds like a fairy tale. It sounds like a made-up story. David was a giant, and Goliath was a giant rather, was a giant, and David was a normal person. So he was a normal person in terms of height. So David and Goliath were fighting, and it sounds like everybody could not believe that David could fight Goliath. Actually, according to the story, he assured people that I can fight this guy and I can kill him. And then he was fighting with a slingshot. The slingshot is like you design some kind of and you use elastic rubber, and then with some kind of a glove that can hold a rock or a stone, and then you attach it to the elastic rubber, and then when you pull the slingshot and release, because the rubber is elastic, it will be able to shoot whatever target that you're aiming at. And apparently David was able to defeat Goliath using the same method, and he hit him here on the forehead, and Goliath saw some stars around his face and some darkness, and Goliath collapsed. Giants don't fall, they collapse. Apparently that's what happened. And today I want to capitalize on that story, the David and Goliath phenomenon. What is this phenomenon teaching us in terms of entrepreneurship? And for us here on Disruptive Innovation, how do we ensure that we learn to survive and coexist with Goliath as the Davids of this space? Because according to the story, David was smaller, Goliath was big, giant. And so how do we survive in this space and coexist with the Goliaths of the space? So I'm going to take this phenomenon and convert it into our real life situation as emerging entrepreneurs and as small businesses. As long as you are emerging, you are probably going to start small and start growing gradually. And as you do that, you are going to be a David of this space. As long as you've been here for some time and you've run your businesses successfully, or you've been running the business successfully, you are probably qualifying to be a Goliath. So you're gonna be a Goliath of the small businesses. You know what I mean? So that's how I'm going to use this phenomenon in our real life situation. So entrepreneurs in general, especially the emerging ones, the ones that are coming into the space, they are being scammed, ladies and gentlemen. They are being scammed so much that because when you really want to build, and you are exposed to certain information, you are exposed to you are exposed to a lot of, let me say, failures when you start, and then you end up being tempted to try and correct your failures immediately. And as you do that, you meet J-calls and hyenas of the space, and they take advantage of that. They take advantage that you're desperate to correct your failures, you're desperate to reset your shortcomings as a new emerging entrepreneur who is probably learning. They take advantage of that, and then they will end up scamming you. So that's why we end up having a lot of entrepreneurs being scammed in this space. A lot of entrepreneurs are being scammed in this space because of exactly that. So that's what I'm going to touch base on the entire episode. But then let's talk about who scams the entrepreneurs and how do we get scammed. And no, I've been talking about all these whole of things, but I have been neglecting this part because there's a whole lot of entrepreneurs that are coming into the space and they are being scammed every day, left and right. They are being scammed. Why do you get scammed? In most cases, you get scammed because, like I said, you are trying to correct your shortcomings. You are trying to correct your mistakes. And who scams you? We are being scammed by people that pretend to be service providers. Yeah. People that pretend to be service providers, people that pretend to be the best in the market, the best in the game. They will persuade you to take their service or product. They will promise you stuff. They will, and then you end up agreeing to, because you are vulnerable. You end up agreeing to whatever that they're telling you, and then you will fall for it. Just pay 50%, and then we deliver the service or we deliver the goods on delivery. Then you will then pay off the balance. Little do you know that will be the end of your finances. So as you are trying to correct one mistake, you are at the same time creating another one on the other side. You are trying to correct your shortcomings. You are trying to correct the mistake whereby you were scammed by, or you made a mistake on some finances somewhere, and then you try to rectify that by doing the right thing, only to realize that you got yourself even deeper into the same problem of being scammed, unfortunately. So I'm going to give you an example of what I experienced and what I went through as an emerging entrepreneur. I got scammed a couple of times. Sometimes you get scammed little amounts of money and then you just give it up. Sometimes you get scammed large amounts of money, like substantial amounts of money. And that's when you get concerned that you need to do something about it. You go to the police, report whatever, but you never get your money back. Fortunately for me, I haven't been scammed a large amount of money, but I was scammed a large amount of money, but the scammers could not be able to withdraw or get the money. And I was scammed small amount of money, which is around, I prefer to put it in dollars because I'm not building for the local market, so I'm building for the global market. So I want anyone across the globe to understand what I'm saying. So in terms of rent, I was scammed 1,900 rands. In terms of let's just say 200 rands and round it off. 2,000 rands and round it off. 2,000 rands in terms of dollars would be 1,000 rand is around $150. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. I'm running numbers in my head and they're not adding up. Let's just say I got scammed around $300. $300 US, which is equivalent to 2,000 rands in South Africa. So that is the money that I was scammed, and it was gone. I never recovered that money, and my heart was sore because the guy who scammed me, I was trying to rectify the mistake that I made for some guy whom was insisting for me to pay for a delivery of some goods, of some products that I was selling. And because he was insisting, I started to see a lot of red flags. And then I started to investigate and I realized he's a scammer. And then I stopped myself from committing that mistake. And then I went to the other guy, only to realize the other guy is doing the same scam as this one. But because this one is aware that you've already been to this one, my mistake was to make them aware that I've already been to this other guy. And he knows about this other guy who's scamming people as well, the same way. Then I go to this one because he looked legit, he had a shop and everything, but the shop is always closed. You'll never see him opening the shop. And then I gave him 1,900 rands, which is about $300. And that guy scammed me that money. I never got that money back. I don't know this guy, I've never seen this guy, but I know his shop. And he's never at the shop. So I'm not even sure that that shop is his, you know. So emerging entrepreneurs, you will always have instances like this, and they will scam you, they will take your money. So every time you want to buy services and goods, or goods and services, ensure that you are working with proper service providers. You verify and vet these people, and you ensure that the information that they're sharing, it could be on the internet, it could be on their websites, or just because a company has a website doesn't mean they're legit. So make sure that you verify everything, especially the email addresses. If you want to see that somebody is fake, let me not say a scammer. If somebody is fake, you will, if your conscience is talking to you about this thing, that no, you're throwing your money away, look at their emails. Some will say they are from government, and then so they'll send you requests to supply them. But when you check the email, mostly in South Africa, our government emails will be whatever department.gov.za. It's government of South Africa. So gov, it's government.za is South African government, or it's South Africa. ZA means South Africa as a country. So that is the domain for government emails. But a red flag would be an email that says what department.gov.gmail.za.com. That's a red flag. If it doesn't say .gov.za, it's a problem. And they can't do .gov.za. So they will add something in between. They will add a lot of complicated things. If you're not aware and you don't know, you'll fall into those things, and then they will scam you money. Even the ones that say .gov.za, I myself, I still scan them because I don't trust them. So I'll go to the department, I'll check all the department's emails and the pattern and the format at which they have created their emails. You will find this guy's email somewhere. It's got a little bit of a dash that you're not aware of, and that dash is the scamming part of the entire thing. That one little dash. So verify and vet everyone and everybody. Don't rush into making decisions that are going to extort you financially, because you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem where you pay people money and you'll never get your money back. Another instance of being scammed, I was similar approach. I was given an order to supply certain goods by a specific parastatal company. Parastatal is a government-owned entity to supply goods. And then I got the order, I vetted the order was legit, looked legit. And then I went on to the website and the emails looked legit. That's when I learned about the dashes and the forward slashes and the dots and between the emails. They swap these things around. And then if you're not aware, you'll fall for the tricks. And I realized everything checks. I didn't notice that they have twisted the emails a little bit here and there. It looked similar, but it was not similar. And then I received the order, I did the order, and then they say buy. And then when you go to the internet to search for the suppliers for that particular thing, you will find another thing. You will find the exact same thing that they've required on the order. The way they want it, you will find it on the internet. If they say we want a guy who's brown in color and he's wearing a brown hat, he's got brown eyes, he's got pink lips, he's got beard and some mustache, and he's wearing a cream white t-shirt. And then you go into the internet, you Google that product, it will come out exactly like that. This is the part where you should know that this is a scam. And from that, you just close everything. Close, delete, get out. Exact same spec will appear on the internet. And these suppliers are normally found in the same part of the country. Just go in and check your orders. You will find that all of these factories, all of these suppliers are in the same part of South Africa or in the same part of your country. That's where you're going to find, or you're going to pick up a red flag. You just stop everything, click, close, delete. Forget about it. It's not happening. It's not real. It's not true. They're going to take your money. I get such a thing, and then I responded, and then I buy the goods. I pay half. They say, pay half, we'll deliver, then you pay settle. Pay half. Let me tell you how much the half is. 50,000, 50K. I pay 50K into the scammer's account. And then the money goes into the bank. I just thank God that the bank was able to do its job. The bank systems realized that the account in which I've paid the 50,000 rands into. 50,000 rands is like how much? It's like $3,000, if I'm not mistaken. It's like $3,000, 3,000 US dollars. That's 50,000 rands. Almost like 3,000 US dollars. 2,800 US dollars, or you guys call it $2,800. Yeah, something like that. So the bank realized that the bank account that I've paid the 50,000 rands into, it's a brand new bank account. And it does not belong to the company that I've listed that I've mentioned on the deposit. It belongs to an individual. And then they ask me questions. Have you ever paid so much money to these guys before? No. Is this the first time? No. I mean, yes, it's the first time. Is this a company or an individual? Then I say it's a company. What's the company name? I give them the name. Then they look at me. Is it? And then that's when I knew that there's something fishy here. Then that guy in the bank just looked at me and then he said, okay, fine. Are you sure you're paying? Then I said, yes, I'm sure I'm paying. And then that guy knew that this guy doesn't know what he's getting himself into. He has no clue what's happening. And then that guy was just heaven sent to me, that guy in the bank teller. Then that guy initiated an investigation. He froze my account. He froze the account where the money was supposed to get into. So the account could not receive the money. And then the transaction was frozen. Then the investigation was started by forensic of the bank. So the bank forensic was able to start the investigation without me knowing. I didn't know. I just thought, in my head, I've paid them. And then those guys on the other hand, the suppliers are calling me every 5 minutes. Have you paid? Yeah, I've paid. All the 50,000 rands. Yes, I've paid. All the money every 5 minutes. But the money is not reflecting. It's not, but I paid. Here's the proof of payment. Okay, no. Maybe it will reflect. One thing that I kept telling them was that, guys, today it's a weekend. So probably the money will reflect. It's a weekend. Well, the money, then they relaxed. The next day they tell me, okay, we've because you sent us a proof of payment, we've already dispatched your order to the customer. The customer is the parastatal, the state-owned entity that sent me an order. We've already sent a truck to deliver the order to your customer, and I was happy. And then another red flag. These guys keep on calling me to inquire about the payment, but the payment is not clearing. Go to the bank and clear the payment. No, I'll go to the bank on Monday. I'll go and clear the payment on Monday. They kept on calling me, hey, the truck is on the way, but the money is not clearing. No, don't worry, it will clear. My God on the other side was working overtime. The guys are working overtime, they're investigating, they are not telling me anything. And then the next morning was early hours of Monday morning. Then the guy calls me and then he says, your delivery has arrived. When he says your delivery has arrived, I've already started the car now. I'm on my way to the customer. The customer was about 250 kilometers away, almost 300 kilometers away. So I've already started the car. I'm driving to the customer to verify and see this thing for myself. I want to see the truck offloading. I want to see the customer receiving the order. Then I know the customer is gonna pay me, Then I want to speak to the customer themselves. Then I drove, I get to, hey, look now. The entire episode I'm talking about my story. Okay, let me just fast forward. I go to the customer, 250 kilometers later, and then I get there. The person I'm looking for is there. The names, everything, but the person knows nothing about the order. Has never placed an order, has never sent me an order or anything like that. And then he shows me a list of people who has been scammed the same way. And then he asked me, how much did you pay? I say 50,000. And then she held her head. And she called everyone in the office, come and help me calm this man down, because this man is panicking. And that was it. That was the situation. Later that day, as I was driving back, I got a call from the forensic of the bank that I made payment from. And they asked me questions, like security questions. They asked me questions, a lot of questions. It was like an interview. And then, fortunately, the guy that was interviewing me was very friendly, very, very friendly, because they were aware that this guy doesn't know what he's doing. And then he said to me, my brother, you should thank your God and your ancestors, because we've stopped everything. This money was gone. You were not going to get your money. Then I was able to explain to him that I've already been there. There's nothing like that. And then they returned my money. Some week or two later, I got my money back. All of it back in my bank account. Guys, so there will always be scammers out there. Beware, verify, and be sure. And start creating relationships and partnerships in terms of service providing amongst yourselves as emerging entrepreneurs. So this thing, it's a common thing that happens to many of us who are not clued up about what is happening in the space, but mostly we learn the hard way. And as you learn the hard way, you are not able to come and tell us. You just keep it to yourself. And then it's that thing to say, no, everyone should learn their way. Learn the hard way as well. You must go and learn the hard way. Be scammed as well. So it's not right, actually. Somebody should go out and notify us of the things that are happening, especially when you come into the space. Hence, I've decided to come and tell you what happens when you start, because you really want to build, and you harvest for opportunities everywhere. Whenever you see an opportunity, you think you can make money out of it. So another problem that I've seen happening about the Goliath and the David story, or the David and Goliath phenomenon, big entities are persuading small emerging companies to work with them, like to do other services with them, and they charge them an arm and a leg. It also happened to me, and I've paid, first year of my business, I've paid a lot of money to a certain big entity for them to do certain work for me, because I didn't understand. They said, oh, we'll do this for you, we'll do that, we'll check this for you, we'll go look for customers for you. Then I paid, and nothing happened. And then when you ask, they will tell you, no, there's no opportunities, there's nothing yet, be patient. But you've paid. And then they'll call this some kind of an option that you choose from a wide range of services that they're offering. And then they've got options, they've got packages. You take a package, and then this package is going to give this and this and this, help you grow your business and stuff. Beware of such things. You don't need those things. Build on your own. Do things on your own. Do things that you believe will make your business grow on your own. If you are forced to use a service provider, make sure that you vet that service provider. If need be, drive to your offices, sit down with them, and then discuss whatever that you need from them. But be careful of large entities persuading you as a small emerging entrepreneur to work with them. Then you pay them an arm and a leg, and they don't give you any service. So I've paid a lot of money. First year in my business, I didn't get anything. Second year, they said, renew your membership. Then I asked them one question. What is this membership going to give me? Going to help my business grow? They started their stories again. They said, even you can upgrade because you've been with us for... no, guys, come on. I need this money to grow my business. I need to invest this money and grow my business. Instead, I'm going to give it to you. Then when you are just going to grow. You are just going to grow because you've already grown. So you're just going to grow and add numbers with me. At the same time, I'm not growing. See, so it's a problem. So be careful of such. The large entities will always persuade you to get services from them, especially if you need accountancy services, if you need what is this others, compliance services and as well. So I'm not gonna mention the company's name because I know maybe they've probably made contact with you already, and you've even taken their package and you've even paid, but you're not seeing anything happening. There's a system in South Africa where anyone can just go. I don't know how they get our personal information or business information. Anyone can just go and get your business information. Then they start emailing you. They give you all these packages. Some are scammers, some are legit, but be careful of all of those things. You don't need some of these services if you're starting up. You don't. So stay alert. So sometimes entrepreneurs just agree to these things to impress, to give impression to the person that you're talking to. Maybe it's a nice lady, it's a lady that, with a nice sounding voice on the phone. You just want to impress her. It's not a lot. It's just 15,000 rand a year. You pay once, we give you all this. Then you want to impress, and then you agree. Then you pay 15,000 rand, and you get nothing out of that transaction. So you need to be careful. Don't do things to impress. Do things to add value to your business, to add value to your emerging business. Because this business is vulnerable, this business is young, this business is small. It needs you to support. It needs you to. It's like a child who has just been born. You need to hold this child. You need to until the child stands, until the child learns to walk. Already you're paying 15,000, 20,000, trying to impress, but this child is not even talking. So you need to get the child to talk first before you can start paying such amounts of money, because you're going to lose, my brother, my sister. So you're going to be demoralized by the things that are not even adding value into your business, the things that did not even trigger you to start the business. So you need to be alert and be aware of these things around you until you get to a point where you know where to go when you need to, or when you want to acquire what. Then you are able to approach such service providers. I think I gave enough. I cut my story short because I got carried away. I cut it short. Got carried away. I've got too many stories that I could share, but I'm only limited to 35 minutes. I don't want to go on for hours and hours. 35 minutes is enough for each episode on our channel. We don't do more than 35 minutes. Our average runtime is 35 minutes. Actually, our average runtime is 30 minutes. So some are 32, 33, 35, 34, 36. We average 30 minutes per episode. So be careful of those scamming tactics. Always avoid doing things in a panic mode, and then always verify details before you're making any kind of payment. The biggest problem that we have is panic mode. You switch from your normal thinking mode to a panic mode, as if your business is in ICU or anything like that. You are emerging, you're starting, you don't have anything, you don't even have an office, you don't even have a website or an email, but somebody's telling you, we're gonna support you with your website, what, and we're gonna add this to your website. You don't have a website. They don't develop websites, they don't build websites, they don't design websites, but they're telling you they're gonna develop website. They're gonna add value to your business by updating your website. I told this other one the same thing, that you're saying you're gonna update my website with I need to give you access to my website. You're gonna update my website with whatever that you do, and then you're gonna make yourself, you're gonna appear as a partner that contributes to. Then I ask if they know if I've got a website. Then they say, no, we just assume that you do have a website. How do you run a business without the website? Then I told him, you can run a business without the website. Your website is not a business. So I do not need your service. You understand? So we need to be on a normal state of mind. Don't be on a panic mode because someone is on the phone and trying to pressurize you and you're trying to impress them. It's not gonna work. Therefore, relax. Do your things with conscious, with a sound conscious, because you will regret certain decisions because you were on panic mode when you make such decisions. Understand? So lately, I have seen a lot of companies, a lot of large entities buying small emerging entities or small emerging businesses, because small emerging businesses have got a huge impact in our communities, in our society, and the large entities, they see that impact, and as they see that impact, they are able to buy into your large entity. Sometimes you don't need to develop everything in your business, because someone might be looking at your business and thinking you can buy that business and develop it to that level. Sometimes you don't need to pay that much and invest into your business so that it can look fancy. Someone is going to buy it and make it look fancy, So I've seen Heineken acquiring a beer company called Soweto Gold Beer. I'm not sure if you're aware of Soweto Gold Beer. Soweto Gold Beer was acquired by Heineken, and Soweto Gold Beer, I don't know much about how much they've spent in growing that business, but they were already on another level. They were competing with a lot, the likes of Heineken. They were competitors with the likes of Heineken. So they bought Soweto Gold, and then they acquired it, and I don't know where the business is now, but I think and I believe they moved it to the next level. We also saw X Holdings acquiring Twitter from Jack Dorsey, and they have introduced a whole lot of new changes on X, former Twitter. They've introduced a whole lot of new changes, which maybe Jack Dorsey, I'm thinking of Mark Zuckerberg. Jack Dorsey was not interested in such, but they brought in a whole lot more new things that we saw on X. And this is how these new entities or new emerging businesses get to be acquired by the large entities. So don't panic. Someone is watching your business and they're going to buy it at some point if they can see that something is happening. And then we also see Meta, I think it's Meta INC or something. Meta acquired WhatsApp. I forgot the name of the owner of WhatsApp, but Meta acquired WhatsApp. WhatsApp is now owned by Meta. Meta is the owner of Facebook, the owner of IG, Instagram, is the owner of Thread as well. Meta is owned by Mark Zuckerberg. So these large entities will eventually get to buy your small entity because you have an impact that you're making in your business. So don't panic. Forget about panic mode. Relax. Go at your own pace. Do things the way that you have always planned to do them. Work according to your plan, and you'll see things moving. So be visible. Keep records of your. Just make sure that you are visible so that they can see you. The large entities can see you. Keep records of your business. The customers that you acquire, the money that you make, and then be ready for Goliath. Because when you put together this data, the customer base, your revenue you've collected, this is you preparing your slingshot. This is you preparing your slingshot because Goliath is coming. Goliath is looking at you and is coming. Prepare your slingshot, and then the day you launch your slingshot, you'll be able to target and hit Goliath here. When you hit Goliath here, Goliath will collapse. When Goliath collapses, that will be Goliath acquiring your company, and then you're done. That's how you're going to start seeing yourself building up into the space and becoming a Goliath yourself. And you will start to acquire the small entities as well, the same way they've acquired you. So I wanted to give an example with, especially for us, the emerging entrepreneurs. When in a construction area where people are working and building, let's say they're building a skyscraper, when they start, all you see is just dust. All you see is dust. You just see dust. You just see excavators. You just hear a lot of noises. Steel against steel. People are pumping things. You don't see what's happening. You see a lot of scaffolding, but there's nothing that you can actually see and point as something that you can actually say there's a nice building over there. All you see is dust, the mix up of things until they're done building. When they're done building, you're gonna see a very beautiful glass building that looks beautiful. People start to take pictures in front of that building. People start to adore the building. People start to mention that building as a landmark of that city, because they've been building. And that's what you have to do. Let people just see dust, and the day you're done, they will come to you and take pictures with your building, because you're done building, and the Goliath will start approaching you. With that being said, don't forget to subscribe. There will be a pop-up here. Just click on the pop-up and be part of this journey. And until next week, I'll see you next week. Next week.